this takes everything you got and it takes it all away. What a better way to lose it than doing what you love.
Do they have to hook you up to oxygen when you're backstage?
Trust me, we're going to try everything we can because we want to kind of get out ahead of it because each market is its own individual thing. But let's don't fib to each other. This is a tour. So Denver, 2 days later, is Sacramento. Now you talk about Denver and Sacramento, about the same markets. They're crazy. You'd be lucky if you get out of your skin. So to do 9 here, turn around and do 5 in Sacramento on 2 days rest. It's going to be really tough. So everybody's kind of focused in. So as much as we're smiling inside, I'm nervous, to tell you the truth. Because I don't want people to come and go, he didn't have a voice. So, but at the same time, I don't want anybody leaving the arena thinking there was anything left either. Yes, ma'am.
Jessica Brother from 9 News. Were you ever scared when you kicked off your tour that you would lose some of your followers, some of those fans that
Yeah. Scared that nobody would show up. I was scared to death. You didn't know. And in Chicago, 180,000 tickets. All like a baby. Oh, kidding me.
That Denver had so much demand for you?
But Denver was great. Also, I got to say thanks to this Alpine ticketing agency because they were moving them. There wasn't anybody that was disappointed. There wasn't anybody that did get a ticket that didn't want one. I mean, they were moving them fast. I think this is the fastest selling on sale we've ever had. I think we were well short of 30 minutes. We passed the 100,000 mark, which for Chicago that took us about 3 hours to get to. So it's this ticketing agency here. I mean, whatever these guys are, they've got their stuff together. And trust me, we've thrown them and other ticketing agencies' faces going, hey, these guys are moving tickets at an amazing amount. So just a good place, great market, great way it's handled, and I'm sure if the building's around like the Nichols building, people are going to be fabulous. We're talking to our crew. The loading today was nice and smooth. So we're excited about tonight. It's going to be fun. Yes, ma'am.
It seems like you do so many things for your fans and for the people. You give back, obviously, to the community. Again, you do tickets at one price level, regardless of where you're sitting. 9 shows. You said you've never taken anything on like this. Why 9 shows? Is it typically because the demand's out there, you want people to be able to see you, and so you're going to tire yourself out if that's what it means? And where do you get that incentive for the fans? That motivation?
How many shows you do should not be your choice. It should be the people that allow you to be an artist's choice. So that's cool. It was a scary day because we didn't plan for 9. Trust me. I think the old attendance record here was 50-some thousand. So if we had done what we did in Chicago, which was about 120% of the last time, Atlanta was about the same. So if we were lucky enough to do 120% here, that's about 70,000 people. And so you can imagine the scurry in the room when these tickets were selling as fast as they were to start building these next shows. So I think that's why I think we have 6 in 3 days, because we just didn't have any other place to put them.
So do they like call you and say, okay, will you go 7? Okay, will you go 8?
Well, they email me more because if they don't, they know I'll be going, wait a minute, what's happening? And everything's going. So they're, so they do it digitally, and you just give them the blessing to kind of run as much as they want to. So this was fun, and I didn't address your ticket cost, which is very sweet for you to say. My biggest fear would be if I was a parent and I had a child sitting next to me and they said, why are we not sitting down there? And I had to say, we can't afford it. That'd break my heart. Now why are they sitting down there? It's luck of the draw. They just got, everybody drew out and this is where they got it. So it's just cool. Yes, ma'am.
Did you do your ticket sales show by show partly to keep the tickets in the hands of your fans and out in the hands of the scalpers?
What do you mean show by show?
How you added it throughout. I mean, like I was in the waiting room and there were only 2 shows and they just kept coming
You
out.
just never know what you're going to get. So you put 2 shows on, that's 30,000 people, that's a lot of people. And, we did 50,000 in what they call our heyday. So if we're lucky to do 50% of that, that'd be 25,000. So there's a couple shows that you might be lucky because you don't want to play to an empty house. Right. And then, so then you start adding them on as the demand because Ticketmaster will tell you how many people, or Alpine will tell you how many people are in what they call the queue, how many people are trying to get in. And when you've got, when they say the queue is sitting at 80,000, 100,000, 120,000, you're going, oh crap. What? So we need to give them more inventory to choose from. So that's how.
It was excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it too. That's a good company. Yes, sir.
I'm the little Joe at K99 Radio up in northern Colorado.
How you doing?
I'm notorious for asking off-the-cuff questions. What's for dinner?
Catering. It's going to be a lot. My favorite pizza's around, so I mean, I eat.
What's your favorite topping?
It's just a lot. My dad was that way. He didn't like a lot of crust. He liked what he called goop. So we were raised that way. So yeah, I enjoy.
Sorry to get you hungry.
Yeah, too late.
It just reminded me, in 1997, you went to my family's restaurant in Littleton. It's called Romano's.
Were you born yet in 97?
I was 7. And that was hanging on our wall for the last 20
Really?
years. Yes, so we're just so happy that you're back.
Now you still have the restaurant?
Yes, so if you need pizza.
Don't, I'm wasting weight. People think it's easy to say 260. You got to work at it. All right, yes, sir.
A song from your past teenage years or childhood that encouraged you or inspired you in some way, and what was that song and how did it encourage you?
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know if you know my story, but if you were in Vegas, you know the story of hearing George Strait for the first time unwound. I knew that's what I wanted to do. What got me to want to do music was the voice of Steve Perry with Journey, unbelievable voice, Freddie Mercury with Queen, those kind of things. Grew up on the Buck Owens, hour of that show, along with a lot of shows like that. So Haggard and Jones are the reason why country music exists for me. That was my dad's favorite two guys. My mom was an R&B fan. So Mahalia Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, all that stuff was in our house. And then being the last of 6 kids, here comes all the classic 70s rock groups that my brothers listened to, everything from Free to the Eagles, to the individual writers like Billy Joel, Elton John, Dan Fogelberg. But once you hear George Strait, followed by Ricky Skaggs, Keith Whitley, those guys right there, I mean, that's the real deal. So that was kind of where I wanted to. Yes, ma'am.
Jordan Dawson, K99.
Hi, Mr.
What do your daughters think about you being back on the road? Have they seen you perform, and what do they think of seeing you on the
They
road?
wish I would have gone back on the road a lot sooner. They, you know, the great thing is, it's a wonderful joy to look back and know you went to every rehearsal, every practice. You never missed anything. And thank God and the people for that chance to do that. Their story is, oh my God, they were at every rehearsal, every practice. So they were ready for me to go on. I really didn't discuss it with them that much. It was Miss Sherwood that kind of let the cat out of the bag when Allie was a junior. And going from 3 children to 2 in a house, if you guys lose children to college each time, you know that it gets a little more progressive to down to a morgue, pretty much. You know? A house that was crazy and wild now just gets quiet when you got one baby left. And she said, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. You got any ideas? She goes, well, we could go play music. And we truthfully didn't know if anybody was out there. So this was very sweet. It's very nice. So the first step is the tour. The second step is music, radio airplay, stuff like that. And then the third is the industry. The music is still out there. It's new. So all you want to do is relate with that stuff. And if that happens, good. And then the industry, we'll see. As Maddie said, we were lucky enough to be nominated for the Entertainer of the Year. So those nominations came about 3 or 4 months into the tour. So that was nice to be recognized for that. So we're just going to go enjoy the evening. Whatever happens, happens. But we're just going to go enjoy the evening and then see how much longer you get to do this. That's the whole thing.
Mr. Brooks,
Yes,
feeding off her question, what's one of the biggest lessons you learned being a stay-at-home dad or raising your kids from your kids?
Oh, your children, it's said in a Don Williams song that sometimes you have to live it and then go, oh my God, he said that in the song, I remind you. There's a Don Williams song called Good Old Boys Like Me. And the line is, I guess we're all going to be what we're going to be. So laying there at night, when you just had a problem with one of your children because they've done something that they weren't supposed to do, and you're going, oh my God, where'd I go wrong? Okay? And you're laying there and you go, you know what, the truth is this. You can lead your children to the Lord, you can teach them manners, you can let them pursue whatever and support them in their pursuit of whatever. But the bottom line is, they're going to be who they are going to be, not who you want them to be necessarily. My thing for my children, happy. That's what I want my children to be, is happy. At the same time, I would like them to do something that supports them well and stuff. But like my brothers, you know, there was 6 of us kids, and the most important work that was done in our family wasn't by me. It was done by the guys that were policemen and 2 that were teachers. 2 of the lowest paying jobs there are is public servant and teaching. So if that's what they want to go into, good. You know, but I just want them to be happy. So that's it. They're going to be who they're going to be, and that's something you have to accept as a parent. The sooner you get around to that, I think the more you'll enjoy your children. This was my thought. Well, you guys were very sweet. Did you have one more? Since you started, do you want to end it, or you good?
Sure. Do you still consider yourself an outsider in music?
I consider myself a guy that somehow looks at things differently. But you got to remember, there's a reason for this. When people go, why does this artist do this, or why does this artist do that? 10 to 1, the artist has no control. We all belong to record labels, and record labels own our stuff. We don't. I am one of the fortunate few that owns my stuff. So I don't have to take being treated the way you maybe wouldn't want to be treated if you did have control. So because of that, I find myself in a lot of disputes in the industry, simply because I am not trying to get to the end of the month. I'm trying to do something that hopefully lasts longer than me. And truthfully, I don't care if you ever remember this guy, but if you remember the dance, if you remember the change, if you remember people loving people, we shall be free. If you remember those songs, then I feel like maybe I've done my job. Fair enough?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.